It's not just in the details that the Focus stands out from the crowd, not just in the strikingly styled headlamp or the rather oddly styled rear windows, or even the triangular side repeater. It's the whole car, and it was undeniably quite a bold move on the part of Ford to introduce something so striking to replace its ubiquitous Escort. And all a very far cry, you might think, from the original Escort when it first arrived on the scene decades ago. At first, it was good, very good. The Mark I Escort was light, durable, rugged, and with those Coca-Cola bottle good looks, really very attractive. It was also reasonably priced and subsequently very, very popular. Then came the Mark II, a little more boxy, perhaps a little more modern, but probably not as good looking, and it didn't meet with an immediately positive response. Then came Mark III, another change, and gradually through the next marks and generations, the Escort was watered down until the disastrous Mark IV. Probably the only thing that could keep this car selling was the little blue oval on the radiator grille and the confidence that that instilled in the car buyer. And so they gave us this, the Focus, with its unique form that integrates straight lines and curves, pretty much unlike anything else on the road before it. Now those looks may be a bit love it or hate it, but whether you do love it or hate it, there is no denying that the Ford Focus is a very good car, for a lot of reasons. For a start, there's the interior where that mix of curves and straight lines has been carried through, and we get this dashboard, which is, well, striking again. To me, it looks rather as though somebody has taken all the required parts, the dials, the vents, the switches, and thrown them violently at the dash, and they've exploded out from behind the steering wheel. Fortunately, though, they've all landed in pretty much the right places, and everything comes to hand as and when you need it. And the plastics used seem to be of pretty decent quality. It doesn't feel like budget, low-rent, cheap car by any means. My only complaint, well, for a modern car in an era when we're supposed to be light and bright, it does feel rather gloomy in here. And then there's the drive, which is very good, and that's thanks largely to the multi-link rear suspension. It has the equivalent of giving it independent rear suspension, and the reason that's good is it means the suspension itself can get on with doing what it's supposed to do, which is keep the tyres in contact with the road for as long as possible, simply because each wheel is independent and doesn't interfere with the next if it's bumped or jolted. The result is a great drive. It feels extremely predictable, very much planted on the road. And that drive is helped again by the driving position, which is, again, very, very good. Even the size of the wheel, it feels grippable and malleable and about the right sort of dimension. And in the right place. There's enough visibility from here. I'm comfortable, I'm in control and on top of the car. As a place to be, it's not at all bad. There's the usual amount of hatchback type space. If you need a bit more and of a different kind, well, there is a saloon version that's being made, though whether or not you can forgive its, shall we say, quirky looks is up for debate. If you need more space than that, then there is an estate version, a proper load lugger, which again is probably not as interesting to look at as the hatch, maybe a bit more traditionally styled. In common with a lot of manufacturers, Ford were hoping to exploit the platform of their medium hatch contender by making even another version, this time a small MPV. Unfortunately, they got caught up in the debate as to whether to have 5 or 7 seats, and we've ended up with, well, none. Because they haven't made it at all. We won't see that for another few years. As for engines, well, if you're after a thumping great V8 job, you're buying the wrong kind of car. If you want something that does the job, it's economical and ranges from a good frugal diesel to the really quite sporty Z-Tech, then you're in the right kind of place. Of course, as soon as you come to a nice twisty A-road, you can start to enjoy that clever rear suspension. If you've got one of the Z-Tech engines, the whole thing feels quite surprisingly sporty. Okay, so it was pretty brave of Ford to replace that most bog standard of cars, the Escort, with something as radical as the Focus. Whether or not, though, the Focus will go on to see as many generations and incarnations as the Escort remains to be seen. Will there be another Focus? Watch this space. In the meantime, well, I think I'll stick to my Escort replacements driven the same way as the original ones, by the wheels at the back, if you see what I mean.